So today we were meeting with Milly Leonora, who's written a lovely collection of poetry called A Drift of Petals, and the book was published in early 2008 in Canada, and I came over to England to meet Milly Leonora in her beautiful garden in England. Tell me, how long did it take you to write these poems? Did you write them over many years or just a few years, or did you sit down and just write them all in one go, or?
I wrote them when I was on holiday. If the inspiration took me into well, not subconscious, but a thought of poetry, rhyming was very easy for me because
I wish in vain. I wish I had my heart again. In vain we think I'd not complain. Is to burning sun. Come to the doorway, we'll flee.
long before I went to school, and I went to school at 4 years, exactly 4 years, and in our house we all sang songs. At weekends, my older brothers were musical. My father had a lovely tenor voice, and he was always singing classics. So you picked the music up and the rhyme. We had a gramophone with, I mustn't sing you a song that was...
Now, Leonora, if you're happy, you wrote a lot of the poems before your husband died, and I have to confess I assumed that they were mostly about him, but they're not. They're about your family as well, are they?
Yes, there's some about my...
Something what I would like you to do, Milly Leonora, if you're happy to do that, would be to just read us a couple of poems. I've just at random opened the page there. Maybe you'd be kind enough to read in your own words, in your own voice.
There's a strange melancholy by the river bank, where the soft green leaves of the weeping willow bend low where we walked. But I had about 200, and my daughter sorted them out for me into sections. I thought this one was quite good, only as I see it. Tomorrow is strong and pulls the time away from today. Too fast to catch and too sad to recall.
And there's a lot in there about woods and trees. Was that because you used to go through the forest with your husband? Or?
All the time. My husband was one of about 2 experienced and very knowledgeable timber merchants. This was about my husband, in a way, I married. Drifts of falling snow travel quickly on the wind, filling dark corners. If only my love could follow the snowflakes. Meaning even the dark corners have a bright side.
Of course, everybody interprets poetry in their own way, so I know people that I've interviewed that have read your book have found it very poignant, very melancholy, and other people have read your book. I was speaking to a lady in France only the other day, because of course your book is profiled in various places, curiously not in England as yet, but in France and in Canada. And this lady I was speaking to in France was saying that she thought the poems were very optimistic, that there was a lot of hope in the poems, hope to see the person again in whatever context. Other people, I know you said your own sister thought it was very, very sad. I think poetry is something people can interpret in a variety of ways. Oh, okay, hang on, you use a typewriter for this. We're not using computers here.
No, no. Whatever I write, I'm sincere at the time.
So what do you think your dad would think if he knew that his daughter was a published author now? He'd obviously be very proud of you.
He'd be very proud. His scribe. I didn't know whether scribe meant a good thing or a bad thing.
Oh, a scribe is a good thing. So I think
it's old-fashioned.
I think at this point... We're coming up to time on this interview. I really appreciate you taking up the time to talk to us here. Can you read us just a few more of your poems? Maybe.
Well, I think the one at the end where I acknowledge my daughter doing this for me, and this is really true, and that's how I've thought about her since she was a baby. Could I lift you up on a pathway to heaven, all the angels would sing my song of love, and all the world would hear. And that was what she ended it with. Perhaps she only heard like this one. The hand of time touched my face, and you did not see. Yet you watch the clock as the time ticks by.
So is that your husband not noticing that you were getting older?
Yes.
Because you were still young Milly for him?
Yes.
Well, that's nice. That's
I've always
optimistic.
been
That's not
little
sad.
Milly because I've never...
To end our interview, what poem would you like to read as the final one?
You took my love on a long journey and cast it to the wind. Each day I wait for the wind to return. How about that for an end?
Okay. Well, thank you very much indeed for coming to talk to us and for sharing your beautiful English garden with us. I should give a little plug for your website, which is www.millyleonora.com. That's MILLYLEONARA.com. Because the name...
I wish in vain. I wish I had my heart again.